I got a message out to the world, and just in time. So they can convince the world they've been working on a cure instead of a way to profit off people's misery. Fuck that, I've got other plans.
Alright, this is my first time making a video about Dying Light the Beast, and I've had these 5 burning questions on my mind for a while now. Where's Aiden? How will our choices from Dying Light 2 matter in a more linear story? And of course, can the Beast live up on high standards that was set by the following? So let's not waste any time. These are the 5 concerns/questions I want to cover in this video. What happened to Aiden after the events of Dying Light 2? How will the Beast handle the choices and consequences from Dying Light 2? Especially with a more linear storyline. How will Dying Light the Beast connect to the world of Dying Light 2? Can we expect the story of the Beast to be compelling and engaging? Will the Beast surpass the high bar set by the following? Alright, let's start out with the big question. Where is Aiden? I mean, this is a Dying Light 2 DLC after all. Well, not a DLC anymore, but you know what I mean. This is a major question on everyone's mind since Dying Light 2 ended with multiple possibilities depending on your choices. The biggest mystery is how Dying Light the Beast will handle the different endings players experienced. In one, Aiden might be walking away from Wildor with Lawan, or maybe with Hakon. So where is he now and who is he with? It's entirely possible that Aiden's fate will be left ambiguous, or that the Beast could have a canon continuation based on one specific ending. But knowing Techland, they could also introduce a completely new narrative thread, who knows? Maybe Aiden's gone missing, or he's off somewhere continuing his journey, and that he just does not matter anymore. But the question isn't just where is he physically, but also where is he emotionally, mentally. After all, he's infected. He's at the worst stage of infection because of all the inhibitors he took. The events of Dying Light 2 changed him, but we don't know how those changes will manifest in the Beast. So, moving on to the second question, will the ending you got matter? After all, Dying Light's story was all about choices and consequences. How will this work with a linear continuation? How will this work with a linear continuation? How will this work with a linear How will this work with the linear continuation of the story? Dying Light 2 heavily emphasized on the choices you made and how those decisions shape your experience, siding with the peacekeepers or survivors, or deciding what will become of Wildor. The game constantly reminded players that their actions had weight. If that actually ended up being in the game is another question, but anyways. But with the Beast, the question arises, how can a linear story accommodate that? Honestly, it's likely that the Beast will have to settle on one canonical ending for Dying Light 2, even if it means dismissing the other possible outcomes. They could decide on one ending as the true version to progress the narrative. Another possibility is that they use more subtle choices that still allow players to feel their previous decisions mattered, but without affecting the overall storyline. Maybe the world reacts slightly differently based on what you have spared or killed certain characters, but the core narrative remains intact. While this might disappoint players who were hoping their personal choices would carry over in major ways, it is a balancing act between keeping the story accessible for new players and respecting the old ones. Because after all, this is a new game. Some people may not have played Dying Light 2 and just started out with Dying Light the Beast. Techland might find creative ways to make it work, blending the linear story with subtle nods to your past actions. In Dying Light the Beast, the story shifts focus back to Kyle Crane, and it's confirmed that this new chapter is the continuation of the story after the events of Dying Light 2. This actually opens up some intriguing possibilities for how the two games are connected, even though Kyle and Aiden are in different places and they're different characters. Well, since the Beast takes place after Dying Light 2, the world has already been shaped by the events in Wildor, and Kyle's journey will be affected by the fallout, of course. We don't know yet, the full scope of what happened to Wildor after Aiden's choices, but it's likely that Kyle will be dealing with the consequences of those events, even from afar. Maybe the virus has mutated further, like the new monster we saw, or the GRE's experiments have unleashed new horrors in other regions, and Kyle is now facing threats that Aiden couldn't stop. Or maybe it's some mysterious villain that's gonna appear in the Beast who's been mutating these creatures. The connection between the Beast and Dying Light 2 could also be more subtle but still significant. Kyle might encounter survivors or factions that were displaced by the chaos in Wildor, or he could come across rumors and stories about Pilgrim, who changed the fate of the city. This allows Techland to keep the worlds of both games tightly linked without forcing the two characters to meet directly. But of course, we would love for them to meet directly, and I think that is how it should be, and I think that's how it's gonna be. Because after all, like we said before, this is a continuation of Dying Light 2, not Dying Light 1, or the following. But by continuing Kyle's story, Techland has a chance to bridge the gap between the two protagonists. Kyle could be searching for answers that tie back to the larger GRE conspiracy, or maybe he's dealing with new factions that rose to power in weeks of Aiden's actions, or like I said before, maybe a villain. The world of Dying Light 2 is constantly evolving, and with Kyle stepping back into the spotlight, it just confuses me about the lore. How did we go from Aiden to Kyle? Even though I feel like I do have an answer for this, it was probably because the community wanted it. I think this decision was made because there was a lot of people asking for Kyle to come back, but while Kyle and Aiden's story might be separate, the world they inhabit is connected, and the ripple effects of Dying Light 2 are sure to play a role in the challenge Kyle now faces. About the standards, this is actually very important. So, Techland raised the bar when they released the following DLC. I mean, it wasn't just a simple expansion. Maybe they saw it like that, but it felt like a fully fleshed out experience. Almost like a new game in itself, but they never called it a new game. Maybe that's one of the reasons why it got so much praise. They also introduced an entirely new map, vehicle, and a story with multiple endings, giving it depth like of a standalone title. So with Dying Light the Beast essentially starting as a DLC concept and now being developed into a full game, the question is whether they can surpass high standards they set with the following, and most importantly, whether they can surpass the high standards they set when turning the DLC into a completely new game. The following delivered a massive world building, new gameplay elements, and a tight narrative that expanded the lore of Dying Light. For the Beast to succeed, it has to do more than just offer a bigger or newer map or new mechanics. It needs to feel like a true evolution of what made the following great. The story, characters, and world all need to be elevated to make it feel like a natural progression from Dying Light 2, rather than just an extended piece of content. And what I really want to see is I want the world of Dying Light 2 outside of Villedor to actually feel unique. Because the cutscene that plays when you launch up Dying Light 2 for the first time shows the outside world to be so interesting and so full of stories that have not been told yet. And that's what I want to experience with this DLC, to experience the outside world, outside of Villedor. Moreover, Techland now has the challenge of proving that the Beast can stand on its own 2 feet as a full game, not just as something that feels like extra content, because they turn it from extra content to a full game. The risk is high, but so is the potential reward. If the Beast turns out to be a game that not only meets but exceeds the impact of the following, it will solidify Techland's ability to turn their DLC into a full-fledged standalone hit, and it will definitely give a lot more eyes back to Dying Light 2 and all those players who left the game after a couple of updates. So, it looks like Kyle Crane's story is far from over. We've got new threats, fresh mysteries, and a whole new chapter in Dying Light universe. Whether it's Aiden's past choices or the new horrors lurking in the shadows as we've seen, the Beast promises to be something truly unique and fresh in the Dying Light genre. If you're as hyped as I am to see where Kyle's journey takes us next, make sure to smash that like button. No, I'm fucking joking. I'll make sure to make a video if any new details about Dying Light the Beast come out, but until then, stay safe, stay sharp, and remember, sometimes you'll have to unleash the beast.